Good day to you, fangirls and fanboys. Hope you're keeping warm and avoiding the Snowmageddon storm-pocalypse. We're going to heat it up for you in episode 49 with a whole lot of movie news, including casting for Suicide Squad / Aquaman, X-Men, Ghostbusters, Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast, and Indiana Jones? Oh yeah, that's a thing. Plus, in honor of KFC's Double Down Dog, we look at some other terrible food items and weigh whether or not the taste explosion is worth the repercussions. Good day to you, laddie.
Well, good day to you, Corrigan.
How's it hanging?
It's hanging. It's Tuesday. I like to call Tuesday No Work Tuesday because all I do is have meetings. So
I feel like that's the ultimate in work, though. Like that's a lot of
no,
work.
because then I don't actually get to do any work. I just talk about things that I need to do. You know, in meetings, you're like, yeah, technically, yes, you're doing work, but it's like you're not actually getting anything done.
It's no productivity Tuesday.
Then you have to leave those and do what you talked about, but you don't have time because you leave that to go to another meeting. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's very boring. No one wants to hear about that.
No, I am glad to hear about your life, though. It's important for me to understand where you're coming from on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a no work Tuesday.
Yes. And now at work, you're the Twitter girl, right?
Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing. You guys remember me saying constantly how I don't get Twitter. And we'll be honest with you. I still don't get it. I don't understand it one bit. But I thought, to show some solidarity with Corey because, you're so good at it. And I feel like I wasn't really pulling my weight because we have an electric Fancave Twitter. So I was trying sometimes. Every once in a while, I'd throw something out there. And then for work, my job description changed a little bit. And so doing a little bit more work directly with students instead of I was kind of more in an admin role. So we have like a Twitter with because the kids these days all use that.
Do they? Do the kids use Twitter?
Apparently, I don't know.
I thought they were all on the Instagram and the Snapchat.
Oh, I definitely don't do the Snapchat. I definitely can't figure that one out to save my life. Even when people explain it to me.
No, it makes no more sense when it's explained.
Yeah. So at least Twitter, I understand why people use it. I don't understand like the verbiage that happens in it, but at least I understand why people use it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people use Snapchat.
The other day, I was trying to show a prof like Snapchat on my phone, because I do have it, even though I don't use it. And she looks at me and she just goes, "It seems like this would be a thing where people send penises." It's like, yes.
Nailed it. Exactly.
Yes, I think that's exactly why I don't understand it, is because I'm not really soliciting that.
Right.
Anyways.
That's why I don't get it either, I guess. Oh, and probably a myriad of other reasons. But anyway, so we have this one now that I'm trying to use that one to, communicate with the kids. And then because I was trying to be cool, not even cool, I was just trying to, I don't even know what I was trying to do. I think I was just trying to keep up with life. So then I had made a personal one as well. So now I went you guys from having 0 Twitters and not understanding anything about them to now I have 3. In which I already made the mistake today of liking something and not meaning to like it with the thing that I was on. And I'm like, and you click on things and I still can't follow conversations. I feel like you click on one, but there's like 3 before it and then 3 after it. So you're kind of coming in the middle of it. And it just felt very confusing.
Oh, it was more confusing before they did the whole contextualizing things. Then you just had no idea.
So I guess now it's less, I don't know. Anyway, so it's pretty much it's a cluster still. My personal one is terrible. I always forget that it's there, and I feel like I'm so wordy. I have too many things, too many words. So every time I try to type something, it's like, gives you the red letter. It's like, all mad at you. You've used too many words, dummy. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
So then I just delete it and don't write anything.
Well, I'm proud of you.
So I've been trying.
Yeah, she's getting there. It's at Kristen.
It's at Kristen_Lat.
Yes, Kristen_Lat.
At Twitter.com.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's how it works.
No, not at Twitter.com. Oh, bless.
Oh, gosh.
She's doing better than it seems.
Let's set the bar low, people. Okay? Let's just remember that.
Yeah, let's get in the context of what just happened, understand what you're going to get when you get on Kristen's Twitter. No, it's a very amusing Twitter. Kristen, you use it you're still in the one-liner phase, which is nice if you.
Yeah.
I feel like when I go back to my old tweets, I'm like, oh, I said so many funny things, and now I'm like, news and politics, man.
Oh, see, I don't know if I'll ever get there, because like I said, I get too wordy, and it doesn't let you do more than like 12 words or something. I don't know what the number.
You need way more than that.
All I know is it count, and the countdown like makes me nervous, because you count and it like takes numbers like a ticker, and the numbers get smaller, and then all of a sudden it gets like a light red. And then it's like, red, what? And it's like, stop the freaking talking. I'm like, I'm sorry, okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. So,
wow.
I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of times it's happened where I'm like, forget it, I'll just not updated at all because
I'm
clearly
just gonna call
I
my
can't.
mom and tell her what I was gonna say.
Right? Or I try to like delete some of it to make it shorter, but there's never seems to be enough deleting in order, and then it
No.
just doesn't make
It's an
sense. It's
art,
like,
man.
it's like couch light foam potato core, and I'm like, see, that's now I've taken off too many words and no one knows what I'm trying to say. No, it's just completely a nightmare. So if you guys want to watch
That's
me
great.
struggle through and be completely inept,
There you go.
by all means.
Yeah, the funny thing is, though, that, like, when I look back at our Twitter, our shared one, a lot of times I'm honestly not sure which one of us tweeted something. So I'm, like, looking at it, I'm trying to think, I'm like, did I say that? It sounds like something I might say. I don't remember actively typing it.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know.
probably a grand total of 5 things that I did on our
It's
Twitter.
possible.
And
But
4 of them, I
yeah.
think, say hashtag after them. So
This is true. If you don't put hashtag, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Like, the time that you posted...
That takes up more of the numbers
Yeah.
in the counter, and so then sometimes I don't have room for it.
Yeah, you posted about someone's age once, and I was like, I don't...
Oh, I know.
I don't know if I said...
Jake Ryan.
That's right, and I didn't know if I said it or not. It was very confusing.
Yeah,
it was very difficult. I have to make a correction from last week.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, nobody noticed, because when I listened back, I immediately heard it in my head, and I was like, no, Corrigan, you did not. We were talking about Matthew Vaughn and about the things that he's directed, and in my brain, I was telling myself, don't say Days of Future Past, that's not the one you mean First Class. And instead I said Days of Future Past. So Matthew Vaughn did not direct that, and I was busted in that. Yeah, so I apologize for confusing the directorial outings of Matthew Vaughn, but I'm still really excited about Kingsman.
But hey, we still really liked First Class also.
Wait,
so
yes, I really liked both of those.
It wasn't like we were like trying to forget First Class happened.
No, definitely not. I think I'm standing in front of my DVD shelf, and I think I can probably see it right now, because it's one of the... I bought the Blu-ray for my birthday the day it came out, because it was 9/9, whatever year it came out. I was very excited about that.
I was like 19? Nope.
Nope.
That's not true.
Mm-mm. False. Falso.
Nope.
Yeah. Just one more thing, too, before we jump in. I had kind of an exciting thing happen last week.
Ooh, yeah?
I went to downtown LA and saw Bill Nye and Tig Notaro and Eugene Merman and 2 scientists talk about Mars, which was amazing. And Tig Notaro and Eugene Merman know nothing about science.
I was like, isn't she a comedian?
She is, yeah, and she's a great
so that's why
comedian.
I was confused. I'm like, is this like
what's going on? And Eugene Merman is the voice of God, why am I blanking? On Bob's Burgers, Gene on Bob's Burgers.
Oh.
And he sounds like that in real life.
That's awesome.
As most of that cast does. They all sound exactly like that in real life. And so I went and saw that, and it was great. And like Eugene Merman and Tig Notaro, basically their role, because it was a recording of Star Talk, if you've ever heard that podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I know who that guy is.
Yeah,
he did the Cosmos show.
Yes, exactly. And so they're doing like a tour
cool.
with it, and Bill Nye was hosting. And so the comedians sort of served as like the fill-in for the audience who is like sitting here and they're like, you just said some crazy science words. What does that mean? You know, and they just sort of jump in every now and again. And Eugene Merman's very quick. And then afterwards, I like walked outside and I was like, you guys, I think that's Mohawk guy from JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, from NASA. Yeah.
I remember
and like, him. Right? I was like, oh my God. And so I was with my friends Emily and Jerry. I was like, you guys, I think that's him. And so we like kind of like setting up, like trying to be like subtle and looking or whatever. And then I pulled out my phone and I Googled, his name's Bobek Ferdowsi. And so I look and I'm like, Bobek Ferdowsi. But I didn't want to like go up and then accidentally like butcher his name. So I find the Google image page and I go up to him and I go, are you him? So he's like, my name's Bobek. And I'm like, I wouldn't have pronounced it that way, but cool. Can I take a picture? You're awesome. And he was like, oh, well, thank you. He was like, I'm from a team of awesome people, you know. And I was like, well, that's fantastic. And so I went and I took a picture with him and I was really excited about it and thanked him. And he was sick, so he was like, he couldn't shake hands or anything like that. But I was like, that was so cool.
That is pretty cool.
It was like an uber science nerd out night.
Oh,
for
totally.
Sure.
Sounds like it.
It was great. Like in the audience at one point, one of the like scientists said something about something being like half the size of a hydrogen atom, and the entire audience goes, And even Bill Nye was like, what a bunch of nerds. We were just all so excited by this revelation, and it was good fun. So
Cool. That's super fun.
If you ever get a chance to go see a Star Talk taping, highly recommend it. We were like, afterwards we were all like, yes, we will go again, because we were all kind of miserable. Like, I was coming off of like 2 hours of sleep, and Jerry was super sick, and Emily's pregnant, so that's sucks in and of itself. And so we were all just like, oh god. And then afterwards we were like, totally worth it.
Totally.
Don't even care. Anyways, let's get into some of this movie news, because
There's
we
a lot.
have so much of it. Should we start with trailers or casting?
Trailers.
Okay. Well, we discussed last week that apparently before Kingsman they were going to show the Fantastic Four trailer.
Right, and I didn't even know that had started filming yet. I don't know why
I know, right? Apparently it comes out in August.
Cool.
Did not know that till I saw the trailer today, and we were all like, oh, it's probably just going to be like a Flaming Four or something like that. It's not even going to be a real trailer.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but no, they released a
legit,
full...
sort of, more of a teaser, because you're still, it's one of those ones where
It's
you're
a
like,
long
so what's
teaser.
What's the plot of this one? Like,
yeah. I don't, I
other than them being, other than them becoming fantastic in this one also, but...
I'm wary of it. I don't know. Because it shows me so... Like, I get that it's a teaser, but I felt like, say, with Ant-Man as a teaser, when I watched it, I was like, I get it, I'm in, this is cool, I'm for it. And, like, Fantastic Four, I think, because... And keep in mind, I will totally watch the other Fantastic Four movies because I love Ioan Gruffudd and will watch them in anything. But they're basically terrible. So the Fantastic Four movie has to kind of prove itself. And then on top of it, it has this very young cast and all this stuff. And so it's got a lot of proving to do. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I was, like, convinced by it.
Yeah, here's the thing. So usually I'm, like, super stoked about any of these kinds of trailers.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, well, not even so much that I like, I forget, what's his name again?
Which one?
Horatio Hornblower.
Oh, Ioan Gruffudd.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like, not that I dislike him, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to watch this because he's in it.
Attached, yeah.
So I watched the old ones. I thought they're funny.
Yeah,
they're okay.
fine.
They're not, like you said, not my favorite thing to watch. And so I wasn't really thinking they needed to be redone because I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not into Fantastic Four, which I guess could be a thing. I don't know why. It's kind of cool. There's a rock guy and a fire guy and a stretchy guy and so I don't know why I wouldn't be into it, but
sure.
I just feel like the old one, I don't know, I just didn't really care for the old ones. Didn't understand why they were remaking them. I'm like, okay, I guess we can. Sure,
if you why not? We're remaking everything else.
If you're into that. I mean, I love all of the people that they're the cast. Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara and Jamie Bell. So I mean, I love them all.
Right. Everything's
so I don't know
there.
why. I don't know why I'm not excited. I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's like weird to me is I'm not like enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, but I'm also not like, oh, that looked terrible. Like that wasn't it either. Like it looked cool, I guess.
Yeah, I felt like it was very generic comic book movie though. Like all the shots it gave us and the sort of like here's the big reveal of a thing that we should be amazed by. And it felt similar to watching a trailer for like if you mixed Iron Man with Thor: The Dark World. Like it wasn't anything that wasn't in all the other trailers. So you don't get a sense of like the feel of what this movie is gonna be.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Like maybe I don't know.
I'm worried because I feel like Fantastic Four is the beginning of the foray into the experiment of whether we are going to get sick of comic book movies or not. Like this is where it gets to the point where it's like, okay, everything else so far has been, okay, we're enthusiastic about it, let's bring them together. Guardians was a bit of an experiment, but that worked. But so now they're putting everything out, and I'm like, I don't know.
When it's more for me, it's like, at least like stuff like Guardians, all those things were new.
Right.
So it's like, I guess it was what?
It was a while ago.
Mid 2000s, early 2000s that we had the other Fantastic Fours. So for me, I guess I'm like, well, we kind of just had those, and so I'm not as excited. It wasn't like we'd never seen them before. So we'd just seen them, whereas like we hadn't seen Guardians, we hadn't seen, anything really.
Right.
Spider-Man, which the same thing, like I I remember seeing that trailer. I'm like, I guess it looks cool, but then again, I'm like, I really didn't like the other Spider-Mans.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah,
so
I
like
guess you're onto something here.
and so it's more of just like we just saw this
Why do we
one,
need
and
to
so
do
I'm not. It doesn't have that newness, and so and you are right. It could very well have been like a fan mashup video
Yeah.
that someone put together because it didn't have a whole lot going on. So I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously just gonna look forward to the next trailer, and hopefully that'll get me more. I mean, obviously I'm still gonna see it, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, honestly, the most talk aboutable thing on this trailer is mostly that the comments are all horrific from people who are still upset with Michael B. Jordan being in it. Which is like, it's crazy. The YouTube comments, I shouldn't have scrolled down, but I expected it to be like, people, because I was actually looking to be like, well, what are people saying about this? What are other people enthusiastic? It was like every one of them was using like the N-word and all this kind of stuff in it, and I was just like, it is 2015, you guys. I just saw Selma last week, and we should be better than this. That's all I'm saying. Like, what? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't even look at that. I mean, for me was like I was like the most excited about it. I was excited about all of them. You can put him in anything. The fool. I mean, he can do whatever. He can do whatever. So.
Yeah. If you tell me he is Will Ferrell's twin brother separated at birth, I'm gonna be like, sure, I'll watch that movie.
I mean, hello, they did have twins, which were like two completely different sized people, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I
just
think
gonna throw that out there.
It's like, I think in this one it's supposed to be, an adoption situation or whatever, and like then people are like, well, but that's not the story or whatever. I'm like, listen, I don't know what the source material says, but it's not like it's the first time an origin story has been rewritten in an origin story movie.
You know what? And it's. I'm getting to that thing again. I'm doing that thing. Yeah. But, I mean, think of, like, any, like, books that you've read. Like, they change things from the book to the movie. So,
and that just seems to be the one thing we can't abide. It's like, it doesn't matter if, like, it's a brunette or a blonde, but...
Yeah, but heaven forbid that... I mean, what? Who cares? Does it really matter? Like... Is it really going to throw you off that much?
Yeah, I just can't do this movie.
I just cannot. I can't. Come on, people. Like, get over yourself. And honestly, no one cares about your ranting on the YouTube comments. No one wants to read your... I'm not even going to... You know what I'm going to say, though. It starts with a B, and it ends with a T, and there's an O in the middle. No one wants to read that.
They don't.
No one wants your hate. No one wants your anger. Like, just keep that ish to yourself, okay? Like, it's not constructive. It doesn't add to anything. It makes you look like an ignorant hole. Yeah. So, whatever. I'm done with that. I'm so done with it. I can't.
If you want to air all that sound stuff that she just said, get a podcast and, talk to people face to face.
Or
don't do it anonymously on the internet.
Or get a journal. Get a journal.
Write it out,
Write it out. You clearly have some feelings that you need to express, but maybe no one else needs to see them because you're just kind of spewing awfulness. So get a journal.
Did you see that thing I posted on my fan page last week?
I did.
Oh my gosh. It was amazing.
I did see that.
You guys, this woman was engaged by like a Twitter troll on Martin Luther King Day and kept on saying all these terrible things using the N-word and stuff like that. And she kept responding in quotes from Martin Luther King, and the kid kept coming at her. Eventually, through like, her talking to him really nicely and being like, you've got a lot you're dealing with here. I think you need to find a better way to deal with this and stuff. The kid then is like, well, my therapist recommended I try using an anonymous Twitter to get it out. And she's like, well, maybe, try journaling and things like this. And then they go into this conversation at the end of which this troll is like, yeah, I'm so sorry. You're so nice. And, like, you've really given me a lot to think about. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is the internet. That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
It was crazy and wonderful. So, it gives me some hope. Probably misguided hope, but at least there's, like, one person who can be changed by...
Yeah, but that's... always makes me think of... what was that dumb movie with all of those people in it?
Valentine's Day.
No.
New Year's Day. Love Actually.
Other one. The one where he's not into you. He's just not that into you. And remember, they're like, it's like one of the characters is talking to one of the girls who's like, well, my friend, and he's like, no, everyone has a friend who's, that happened. He's like, that's not the norm, that is the exception to the rule, like this whole big thing. So anytime people do that, I'm like, that is not the norm, that is the exception to the rule. But anyway, hey, people, stop being hateful and awful. Okay,
the tea went down the wrong pipe.
That's what you get for drinking water-based drinks, Corey.
I know. I try to be good, and this is what happens to me. This is my punishment. Yeah. Coffee never does this to me. Always goes down the right pipe. So, be nice on the internet. That's that. Do we have more movie trailers? Well, we had a TV trailer.
Yeah, but basically like a movie, because don't all the episodes come out at once?
Yeah, exactly. And,
so Netflix, you guys, is releasing a show in March called Unbreakable Kelly Schmidt, and it just looks like the most wonderful piece of television ever. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's
I was about to call her Erin because that's her name on The Office.
Yep. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with us?
Explain the plot. I'll find her.
Okay. What's her face from The Office? Erin from The Office.
Ellie Kemper.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Ellie Kemper plays this woman who was in a cult, like an apocalypse cult, and her and some other women lived in a bunker for like 15 years or something, and they get rescued. And she moves to New York, and she kind of is just like the most upbeat, positive character probably in the history of television. I'm actually going to come out and say that based just solely on this like 2-minute delightful trailer of her just having adventures, and it's produced by Tina Fey, and it looks like a really fun cast. Her roommate looks like he's gonna be really fun. Yeah. She gets a job with Jane You're struggling. Yeah. What's her face from 30 Rock?
Yeah. Jenna Maroney.
Yeah. Rural juror. And so she plays like her, looks like she's nannying maybe or being a personal assistant. And she just, life cannot get this girl down. And I think the best part, and Corey even mentioned it when she wrote back to me after I sent it to her, at the very end, she's walking and there's a guy that goes, hey, Brad, like, I want to, it's like a construction worker catcalling. And he's like, wish I was those jeans. And she goes, well, I wish I was your yellow hat. And then just like walks on and you're like, oh, you're so wonderful.
You're a treat.
I'm like, I love you. So it looks like it's going to be so fun. I am super stoked for it. I think it's just a dose of optimism and sunshine in the midst of some, I think lots of times shows, they're like, they're not good unless they have an edgy darkness to them. But I'm like, I think shows can be great. I think we see it with Parks and Rec.
Yeah, definitely.
With the upbeatness of Leslie Knope. Like nothing gets her down. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to see a similar character in Kelly Schmidt. So I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah. I agree. As I told Kristen earlier, it's just that it's so uncynical, which is so rare. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the few reactions to the trailer that I've seen are criticizing that. They're like, it's just too sunshiny, things like that. It's like, you know what? Every now and again, it's nice to see something like that. Like, it's so far outside of what's normal on TV. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, give that to me. That sounds really nice.
Yeah. All I see are cynics.
Yeah, we've got plenty.
Trust me, Corey just read a crap load of ton of them on the Fantastic Four YouTube trailer. Like, we just want some
niceness.
Let's just be kind, guys. Mm-hmm. Let's just have kindness in our lives, and let's insert that in. That's just...
Here.
Here we go.
That's the Fancave message today, is all about
just be kind.
And being nice, and, we're into that as a cast.
Yeah.
So then there's some casting that there's some casting happening today. The one I think everybody's kind of seen at this point now is that Emma Watson has signed on to play Belle in a live-action Beauty and the Beast.
I'm super stoked.
Because that's basically, Belle is basically Hermione, if you think about it.
Totally. She's like bookish, but then stands up to the Beast as like, hey, come on, dude. Yeah.
She's
super smart,
and she's not about to go for some guy who's just cool.
Yeah, she's not exactly. She's like not gonna, and she's like, I'm not gonna take your crap. Like, I'm my own girl.
Yeah, I think this is perfect.
I'm super into it.
I'm so for it. I have not seen anything that gives her. I hope that she'll do not an American accent, because that's my thing. Is the last thing I saw her in was The Bling Ring, and her American accent is terrible. And I heard that it's really bad in Perks, too. So I'm a little wary of that whole ordeal. But
Well, if it's I'm assuming it's going to be similar to Cinderella, and they all have their accents.
right, I'm like, it's in France, so I'm assuming they're going to have British accents.
Yeah, as they should, because
Yeah.
all French people are actually British people.
Mm-hmm. All people who are not from America are actually British. Are you watching...
Including Jesus. So,
yeah, clearly. Are you watching the new History Channel show, Sons of Liberty?
No, I'm recording it at my dad's house. It's a miniseries, right?
Yeah, miniseries.
Yeah, so I'm
the
recording
weirdest part about it, though, is that they all have, like, 21st century American accents.
Of course you do. It's History Channel.
Right, and it's so hard, because it's even, like, half these guys are played by Brits. So you have, like, Rafe Spall and Ben, Prince Caspian, that guy.
Ben Barnes.
Ben Barnes, and, like, all these guys who are British doing American accents in, 18th century America.
I'm super into it because I don't know if you guys know this about me, Fancave. Here's a little insight into my life. I love Kevin Costner, like, to a point where it's probably weird.
I'll allow it.
And I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Fool does not even try to do a British accent.
No, he does not.
He's like, no, I'm freaking Kevin Costner. I don't need to do that.
Robin Hood is going to sound like Kevin Costner.
Yeah, like,
that's it.
I mean, so for me, like, yeah, sometimes it can be kind of annoying, but, like, in that kind of situation, especially the fact that it's, which I mean, doesn't really make sense because it's on History. It should be historical.
Nobody
we all know
expects
it's not.
anything on History Channel
and
to be accurate.
Because no one actually expects it to. I'm like, I'm not watching it for its historical accuracy.
No, it's a great watch.
The trailer looks so
it's real
fun.
Good.
It looks awesome. And it's got what's his face that was in Once Upon a Time. Neil. I don't know what his name is in real life. But anyway, he's in it.
Who was he on Once
He
Upon a
was
Time?
Neil in Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah, as in, I think of him from True Blood, and that guy's an amazing actor. It also has Elliot from E.T. He's in it.
Yeah,
he's
that
like
was
40.
Weird.
Yeah.
Super weird. I don't like that. I'm going to pretend like that's not a thing.
That's a good idea. That's a weird thing.
Makes
it also has Jason O'Mara as George Washington. Like, what?
The casting is, I mean, when I saw
bizarre.
When I saw that on the IMDb page, it brought back to my memory. Remember that weird Civil War movie that we've never seen yet? Yeah. Right? And I'm like waiting for it still because it's going to be such a train wreck.
Oh, totally.
That's what I thought of immediately when I saw him. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand. Because who's he going to be in Two Appomattox? I feel like
he's going to be McClellan.
I was thinking it was McClellan.
And remember, I was
sure,
pissed because McClellan's supposed to be like 5'3".
Yeah,
and O'Mara's like
huge.
6'2".
Yeah. It'll be...
Anyway. I don't know if they're going to hobbit him or what they're going to do for his size in that movie, but
I know.
You guys...
I also just don't think he matches my image of McClellan, but that's fine.
Totally
that's
not.
Okay.
Because McClellan should have RBF, and...
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway. Huh?
So yeah, that was a little bit of a side...
side tangent.
We get a little excited about our historical dramas and things of that nature. It'll be interesting. So Emma Watson playing Belle.
Turn, you guys. So
I like this better than Turn. It's easier to follow. You know me in complexity.
Oh yeah.
Espionage doesn't work for me. But I keep on going to call her Hermione. Emma Watson playing Belle. Perfect casting for it. Totally for it. And then we also got new X-Men casting. Do you have that open, Laddie?
I do.
Because I don't know who any of these people are.
Me neither. I have zero clue. Never heard of any of these people before. So I don't even know who. I mean, maybe Sophie must be the first one because anyway. Sophie Turner, Alexandra Shipp, and Ty Sheridan.
And so Ty Sheridan is going to be Cyclops.
And one of the girls is going to be Storm, and the other one's going to be Jean Grey.
I want to say Sophie Turner is Jean Grey because she's the one who's from Game of Thrones, right? And they only have like one black person on that show. So.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, this is like so. It's weird for them to introduce 3 new cast members and like none of them have any frame of reference for me. Like,
yeah, and they're like main. I mean,
Cyclops, these are big.
Jean Grey, and Storm. Like those are like
huge.
Huge. Yeah. I mean, let's remember that was Scott Marsden, Halle Berry, and How do you say
James Marsden.
What did I say?
You said Scott. I think you were going with Scott because Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. And
and Famke Janssen. Yeah.
Okay. See, gosh, these names. We're struggling with names today.
It is. It's hard. It's difficult. I don't know. I have no explanation.
So that's who they're gonna. I don't know. So, I mean,
like I can't be excited or unexcited by it because I'm just like, I have no clue.
I mean, if she's on Game of Thrones, apparently, I mean, that everyone loves that show, so she must be a good choice.
Yeah, I don't know. If you guys have thoughts on the X-Men casting, let
us know.
We want to know.
Let us know how we should think on this.
Yeah, we would like to know how to feel, because we don't feel anything about it right now. It's weird. Yeah. It is weird for me to wrap my head around new X-Men cast members just in and of itself, because, you know, this franchise has been going for so long and they've stuck with the same, you know, general cast of people. Then they went back in time and then they brought them all back together again.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, I don't know what to do with a new set. This is hard for me to process. I don't know. I'm sure they'll be great. I have trust in X-Men because other than the third one, they've never really steered me astray.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll look forward to this, whatever's happening.
Yeah, but do tell us if you
let us know what you guys think.
If you have strong opinions. Now, Ghostbusters, on the other hand, that casting.
Holy cow.
Did we get any, like, when Kristen Wiig was in at least one of our dream casts,
I think
right?
So.
Otherwise, I did not.
Someone was our guest that day.
Was it Alex? I'm trying to think.
I don't remember who it was.
I can't remember who it was when we talked about it, but we did discuss our dream casts for this. No, it was John Vanderhoff, I think.
Yes.
It was definitely a dude.
You're right, because he just called in for a little second to
talk about it. And we all gave our cast, but none of these were really on our list. I'm not against them.
Maybe Melissa McCarthy was on there somewhere.
I feel like, well, because, and as people have pointed out, Melissa McCarthy was going to be the obvious one anyway. You're like, if they're going to make a reboot of this, she's clearly going to be in it.
Yeah.
And I think the general opinion that I keep reading and stuff is that in the 3 hours that this has been announced, is that people are like, that's great that Melissa McCarthy's in it. Can she please not be cast as the same thing that they cast her in everything?
Yeah.
Because she clearly can do more than that. Like on Mike and Molly, she's not the character she is in all her movies. Mm-hmm. You know, she's much more subdued and she can play it straight and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm like, that's what I hope is. Oh, and we should say who the rest of the cast is.
So sorry.
Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon. Who are doing this, and it'll be. I mean, has Kate McKinnon been in a movie yet?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I really like her on SNL. Her and her crazy eyes. It'll be interesting to see her sustain a movie in a character.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be excited about this one too, but.
Yeah, but I think this is really one that's going to be a wait and seer. I mean, and I love Ghostbusters as a franchise. I like the director. I like all those actresses. So, I mean, I have no reason really to doubt it. I feel like it's just, like, honestly, the reason why I'm not enthusiastic about this is because it's so out of left field. Like, in terms of the casting, I'm just like, I actually wasn't prepared for that to be
And there weren't any rumors even. It was just like, hey, there's going to be a female cool, sweet. We didn't even have time to speculate other than that one time.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a little cut out of the process, people.
No, we're supposed to be watching this happen.
And they're supposed to consult us because remember, we are smarter than everyone. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I don't watch SNL a whole lot because I feel like nothing's ever funny. So I don't have a big opinion on Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon, frankly.
Yeah, Leslie Jones, the Kevin Hart episode of SNL, she finally got a chance to this is another person who she's always like one character.
Yeah.
Sort of the loud black woman stereotype kind of thing going on there. And you saw her in the one with Martin Freeman where they're getting married. And everyone in the audience is trying to convince them not to. You watched the Martin Freeman SNL?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, anyway, she normally plays like kind of the same essential type of person, and then in the Kevin Hart one, she actually got to like be other kinds of characters. And I was like, oh, okay, so she can do stuff. So I feel good about that. Like, this is another one of those things, kind of like Fantastic Four, where I'm like, I feel everything, all the pieces are in place.
Yeah.
It should work. It is a little risky putting something out there that, like, doesn't have, I don't know, I feel like it's a weird group of people in that there's not, like, where's your heartthrobby woman that everybody, where's your Megan Fox, or like, you know, or even your Rose Byrne or whatever, if you're going.
Which I think actually could be kind of cool,
yeah,
though.
I think that's
because
cool.
really, who was that character in the original?
Right, no, there wasn't one. This is unusual for something that has women in it. And so I do think this is kind of, yeah, so this is an interesting way of doing it, where there's not, like, someone that you're like, oh, there's the eye candy, or, like, not that these women aren't beautiful, but it's not the, like, you know, oh, that's why they put...
Traditional, like, oh, they picked her because she's,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I mean, I think this is going to be one of those I'm going to wait for the trailer to see how they work together, because you're right, they are kind of so unknown. I mean, we know Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, and, like, they've been in movies, and so they've kind of got that traction behind them, so... I mean, I'm excited, obviously, to see how it looks. Like you said, it's not like they've got idiots putting this thing together. Yeah. They've got people who know what they're doing. Yeah, so it's. I think it'll end up being like super into it by the time we get something in hope. But oh my gosh, I don't know why I cannot form a thought today. Anyway, just so you know, like in life, I can, you guys.
I know. That's the thing is, I feel like once it comes time for us to record the podcast every week, we're always at a point in the day or the week where we can't talk, and then we're like, gosh, what's with me today? And everyone listening must be like, no, this is you all the time.
This is how you always are. And I'm like, no,
how you talk.
You guys, don't judge me by this, please. At least not completely. Just judge me partially by this.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, so we're tentatively stoked.
Tentatively stoked. That's a good way to put it. And then the other, there's so many casting rumors. Karl Urban, who I don't get to talk about enough, especially...
and there hasn't been anything lately.
Yeah, I mean, he got divorced, so there was that. And that's basically the only way that he's been in the news since Almost Human. So now, this is like the best week ever, because not only does The Loft finally come out after being in limbo for like 3.5 years or something, I watched that, like, Danish trailer about 1,000 times in the past several years, and now it's finally here this Friday. So go see The Loft. Prove them right in finally releasing it. And then we find out, I heard, like, 2 days ago or something like that he was being eyed for the villain for Aquaman. And then today, that he's also in the mix, maybe, for Suicide Squad's villain.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this. Here's a thing I'm stoked on, because if he's rumored for 2 separate things, then they're gonna put him in one of them, right?
I feel like it. I mean, right? It's kind of like hedging your bets. You gotta...
Right, like...
If you've got enough...
Which one of these villains do we think he's gonna be better for?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll pick one and he's gonna... That's my optimistic thinking, is, like, hopefully it's not just that his, like, publicist put out, like, a thing so that then the, you know, movie people have to be like, oh, I guess we can think about Karl Urban. But I'm hoping that this is actually, like, he's in talks on both of them, and they're just trying to figure out which one. Because
maybe they're floating. You mean maybe they're floating it on purpose to see what people think too?
Just
maybe
to,
is
like,
that what you were saying?
feelers out or whatever.
Sorry.
You know.
Trying to.
I love
Test the waters.
Yeah, I love Karl. Well, in all facets, I'm always a big fan of the idea of Karl as a villain. I think he's got a villainous look about him when it comes down to it. All that eyebrow and.
Oh, he's got great expressive eyebrows, you guys.
Very expressive.
I don't know if we've talked about that before, but...
No, we haven't, because there's never a chance to talk about Karl Urban. And you guys, I mean, if you know me personally, you know how much I love him.
True, one time she hugged him, everyone. I don't know if you've heard the story.
If you've ever heard about this.
A million times.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite stories, so it's okay.
It's a good story to hear a million times.
It is.
No, but I mean, like, and I just don't get the opportunity lately, so I'm hoping this is, like, the beginning of, like, a, you know, working Karl back into things, you know.
Totally.
We were burned by the cancellation of Almost Human. We had to come back from it. Yeah. And the role that he's up for in Suicide Squad is the one that Tom Hardy dropped out of, and I was, like, distraught because I love Tom Hardy, and they were like, oh, maybe Jake Gyllenhaal will take it, and I was like, no, don't do it. And so now I'm like,
Karl Urban.
I am in, and that'll be the thing that really, like, also it adds to the weird cast of Suicide Squad in general, but that'll be the thing that makes me like, okay, I'm in, I'm seeing this movie.
Okay, we get it, yeah.
This is happening, whatever, I'm gonna watch it. So that's really exciting for me.
Totally.
To discuss the other casting rumor we have on the docket, we should probably go to our Chris Pratt corner.
Well, I guess we'll go into that one first.
Yeah.
So, other casting news is today we heard a little rumor
out of left
mill,
field, way out of left field,
way out of left field. Because one, I didn't even know this was a thing they were going to do.
No.
But apparently, Disney's looking to reboot Indiana Jones, and they want Chris Pratt, allegedly. Which is funny, I think, because Corey actually on her phone has a picture of someone who photoshopped Chris Pratt's face just into like an old Indiana Jones. So I mean, it's clearly it was a picture of Harrison Ford, but they just kind of put his face on there.
You can see it if you go back to the Ben Baudet episode.
Yeah, it's true. We did show that, and so it's pretty marvelous. And I'm not gonna lie, and we're like, that's really cool. So that actually would be weird if it happened. For me though, I don't see why we need a reboot of Indiana Jones. I love the old ones. I mean, yeah, it ended on a sour note.
Yeah. I just noticed, by the way, too, directly in front of me on my shelf, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
You own that movie?
Apparently. I cannot
Corey.
explain the presence of that on my shelf.
Oh, Corey.
I cannot explain it. I apologize to everyone. I'm so sorry.
You should probably donate money to a charity.
I should. Yeah.
Based on that. Like the same amount that you paid for that movie.
Yeah, traumatized by that film. You're right. Again, it's all of these things. I mean, how many of the movie things that we've talked about right now are original ideas and not just remakes of another movie or a comic book?
Yeah. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is pretty much the only new thing that we've talked about.
Yeah, everything else
actually that is the only thing that's new on this. And Suicide Squad, I guess technically is new.
But it's a comic,
but it's a comic. So I mean, obviously I love Chris Pratt, and so I would see it if it was a thing. But I don't know. I feel like I love Harrison Ford. I mean, he is. That's one of those things where you read those stories where it's like the people who passed on the iconic parts, and Magnum PI was supposed to. Well, not that's not his name. Tom Selleck was supposed to be.
Is that not his name? Oh, okay, well.
But he, but he can. So I keep thinking, as much as I love Tom Selleck, I'm like, but Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Those are those kinds of. That's one of those characters. I mean, it's kind of like redoing Die Hard and trying to recast it with.
And they will someday. Let's be
real.
Which
that one I might refuse to see. Actually, and I mean, this one, the only reason I would even see it is if Chris Pratt was Indiana Jones. Otherwise, I would have no real need to see it because I'm like, I love the old ones. I'll just go back and rewatch.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the old ones. Come on.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that one's really baffling to me in terms of that one why we need that. You tried to do a fourth installment, it didn't work. Fine, it happens.
Just let it go.
Things fail. Let it go. We don't need it. It's okay. I mean, we're still alive who, were there to see it initially. If this were 50 years from now and they were like, you remember that old movie Indiana Jones? We should do a new one. Sure, fine. Yeah. But, it's still a treasured memory. We're okay.
Yeah.
And so I would see it with Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt would be amazing in it.
Yeah, he'd be
if anyone's going to take on that mantle, it'd be him or Matt Davis, who is the weird reincarnation of Harrison Ford while he's still living. If that's a thing.
Is that the guy from Legally Blonde?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a picture I'll have to show you of side by side of them in practically the same pose, and it's uncanny. You're the same human being.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love to see that. Let's put that on the blog because I want to see
I can find it on my Tumblr. But so it's just a kind of this is unnecessary. If they cast Chris Pratt, I will watch it.
True.
Obviously. I don't need it.
Yeah. Give him something else that's new and exciting. Yeah. Let's do that instead.
There was an article, I wish that I'd read it, but I love just I think it was actually on Nerdist, and the headline was just it was about Chris Pratt doing Indiana Jones, and it was Chris Pratt is America's Benedict Cumberbatch.
I saw that. Same one.
It's that about sums it up. I mean, we are, at this point, it's basically people have a project they want to do, they want people to take it seriously, and they want an audience. Stick Chris Pratt in it. Just stick Benedict Cumberbatch in it is sort of a heavy thing.
It kind of reminds me of that old, this is remember Extras, that Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais show? And he's talking to Kate Winslet, and she's like, this is going to be my Oscar because she's playing like a nun in World War II or whatever. It's like a Holocaust. She's like, you put Holocaust in it, guaranteed Oscar nomination. So it's like guaranteed hit, stick Chris Pratt in it. Like,
yeah.
I can just hear someone like, anyway, I can hear this conversation happening somewhere.
And yet this guy still does not have 1 million Facebook followers.
And yet he still clearly updates his own social media because it sounds like your older brother updating his. Oh, check out this bird I saw. You're like, nobody cares.
I liked it. Did you see the one where he was picked as the Harvard, is it Hasty Pudding? Is that what they call it? And he's like, thank you for this honorary medical degree. I plan to be like Doctors Without Borders, but with no medical knowledge whatsoever. Like, he's so precious.
I love that guy.
He's wonderful. He's a lot of fun. So we'll see how that goes. And then also we told you there was going to be more to this Chris Pratt and Chris Evans thing.
Oof.
We were just
it's getting heated, y'all.
It's getting heated. Now they've made a wager.
Yeah, it's one of those wagers. I'm going to put it in quotes. I mean, yes, it's a wager, but it's one of those ones where like everybody wins.
Yeah, exactly. There's
it's the only kinds that celebrities can actually make.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what else?
Essentially, it's like if Chris Pratt wins, then Chris Evans has to come to what's the charity?
It's Seattle's Children's Hospital, dressed as Captain America, but Captain America wearing a Seahawks jersey.
Wait, that's the other way around.
If
that's
Pratt
right. Yeah,
wins, see, this is hard. There's too many Chris's.
I know, so much,
and we're not good at sports, so this is clearly like the perfect storm of a terrible story for us to report on. So he's got to show up in the Seattle Children's Hospital dressed as Captain America, wearing a Seahawks jersey. If Chris Evans wins, Chris Pratt has to show up dressed as Star-Lord, wearing Tom Brady at Chris
wearing Tom Brady on his shoulders.
At Chris Evans's charity, which they help find housing for families whose kids are going through cancer treatments at a local children's hospital in Boston. Both super worthy causes. So obviously, clearly, whoever wins, really the only loser is the person who doesn't get the person to show up at their charity.
And I feel like chances are they're both going to do it. It's just that the one who loses won't wear the jersey.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably how it's going to turn out. And so it's a pretty solid wager, and of course is just as wonderful as you would imagine a bet between those two would be.
And pretty much my favorite thing on Twitter, if I can have a favorite thing on Twitter, this is it, because Chris Pratt posted a video or a picture of Russell Wilson in basically put on top of Captain America. In the Captain America, he's like, there's only one Captain America, and it's Russell Wilson. It's like, you're so funny.
I love it. This is making football so interesting right now. Between this and Deflategate, I actually, that
one I don't care. I'm still bummed that Bruno Mars isn't playing in the halftime show. I literally think I've mentioned it every time.
Deflategate is something that I can understand because it doesn't actually have anything to do with football itself. Yeah. And I loved, there was a clip on, I think it was on Conan or Letterman. Maybe it was Letterman. Is Letterman still on the air?
Yeah.
Okay. So
because isn't someone taking over for him? Some other old guy.
Is it Colbert? I don't know. Anyway, Letterman.
Ooh, sorry. I think you're right. He's not that old. Sorry.
It's oldish.
I don't know why. Like he's listening to this or knows what I'm talking about.
Sorry, Stephen.
You seem like a nice guy. You're not that old.
Letterman had Louis C.K. on, and they were talking about the Deflategate thing, and Louis is a big Patriots fan, and he was like, oh, I love it. He's like, I think they totally did it, and it's great. And he's like, sometimes when you want to win, you do things that aren't fair. And he explains.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
There you go. That's basically the message of what he says. And he's like, yeah, I think it's great because it's hilarious and it's stupid football, so who cares? I was like, yeah, exactly. And so that's how I feel about this whole thing. I'm like, it's football. Who cares? This is not real life, okay? So
someone told me a statistic once that of the 3 hours it takes you to watch a football game, of actual field and ball movement is less than 7 minutes.
Is it really that?
Combined.
Wow.
So with the commercials and with all the timeouts and I mean, think about it. How long do they really run? I mean, even if they're running 50 yards, it takes them
forever.
10 seconds?
Yeah. Well, it takes forever in terms of the amount of because
that's why it takes forever. But I mean, in actual real life time, there's less than 7 minutes, and that's don't quote me on that, but it's something very small like that. It's definitely less than 10.
This is why I watch rugby.
This is why I watch basketball.
Yeah, things where people move the whole time.
Yeah.
Basketball, my thing with basketball is I can't do it because of the stupid foul thing and the way they act all dramatic. It's like someone pokes them and they like jump and they're like, ah,
Yeah.
my life.
I don't think that's not there's only a few people who are really known for that.
Yeah, it feels like whenever
and it's
I
the
watch
same thing
it,
with
it's
soccer.
constant,
Same thing with soccer.
Oh,
Soccer's
I don't even
worse
to
though
watch
because
soccer.
they lay there for like 20 minutes because it takes them that long to converge on them.
Yeah.
Or at least in basketball, everyone sees it. It's over
like,
pretty
okay,
quick,
happened.
and you're okay. You're being a diva. Let's just keep going. So
I just like rugby because it never stops. They just keep going. If someone
we
gets wounded,
can't stop.
they tape them up. It is the Miley Cyrus of sports. They just tape them up while they're running, and they keep going, and life is good. That's how all sports should be, in my opinion.
There you go.
Should we?
And then,
go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, should we exit Chris Pratt corner, or do you want to talk?
We'll exit it. It's okay. We can. Yeah.
Because I do want to talk about KFC and the monstrosity that they have just unleashed upon the Philippines.
I honestly, hasn't the Philippines been through enough?
Right? Seriously, they don't need this. They don't need this. So you've all heard of the Double Down, which was terrible. My curiosity, I always have to try these things, although I've gotten better about it. I've never eaten a Doritos Loco taco. I know enough to know that's going to be disgusting. But I was like, I'm going to try the KFC Double Down, which is 2 chicken breasts breaded, and then that was basically the bread. And then it was bacon and cheese on the inside, and it was awful. I hated myself afterwards. It was just a terrible decision. But now they've introduced in the Philippines, and it's only a matter of time till they make this available here. I just know it because it's getting all this play. It's a Double Down dog. It has a hot dog in the middle of those 2 chicken buns.
And it's shaped like a bun.
Yeah, it's... Oh, God. Kristen, would you try it for science?
No, I would not.
You would not try it for science.
I would not do it. I didn't try the other one.
Okay, fair enough. What's your tolerance for curiosity trumping self-preservation?
I don't even know how to answer that.
At what point are you I'm curious enough that I don't mind the fact that I'm going to puke later? You generally won't.
I honestly have not come across. I haven't really come across anything where I'm like, oh, I'd totally try that.
Okay,
because I was so curious. I mean, even going through. Although there is a couple on here where I'm like, maybe I would try that.
So
but
let's go through and test Kristen's.
Let's go through it.
So this is a list from TakePart.com of 10 heart-stopping junk food creations.
Yeah.
And let's just see, what we might eat and what we won't. The first one on here is the KFC meets Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
This concoction takes KFC's famous Double Down made of bacon, 2 chicken fillets, melted cheese, and kernel sauce, and tucks it between a Krispy Kreme donut.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not into donuts with other things.
No.
So there's a place in Huntington Beach that does a donut ice cream sandwich.
Ugh.
That everyone just claims is. I mean, apparently the line is always atrocious and out the door, and it's crazy. And I'm like, I'm not even that. First of all, I wouldn't wait in the line for it.
Definitely not.
Definitely wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know. I mean, I tolerate donuts.
Well, yeah, that's how I feel. I tolerate donuts. They're not a thing I enjoy. Occasionally, it'll be I want one right now.
Yeah,
it'll
me
be a random
too.
Craving, and then I'll usually eat it, and I'm like, okay, that was not really what I
eat that or rub it on my face. My back hurts.
Exactly. So yeah, and sweets aren't really my Achilles heel either. So yeah, putting donuts around things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say we're gonna both put that on the wouldn't eat it list.
Yeah, no,
would not eat it. Okay, then we get the grilled marshmallow peanut butter cup sandwich.
Nope.
This one
nice.
is grilled buttered bread served with peanut butter, bananas, mini marshmallows, and Reese's peanut butter cups, and then sprinkled with powdered sugar to make it all pretty. I'd eat a bite of it. I think that would be I can feel the sugar coursing through my veins just thinking about it, but...
I feel like I got a cavity looking at the picture.
Yeah. The thing is, the bread is really what turns me off from it. Ugh, because I don't like French toast.
I love French toast.
Oh, I can't do that. The texture of the bread and all that doesn't work for me, and that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah.
But I would take a bite. So
Okay.
I put it on the would take a bite list. Kristen says no.
No dice.
Kristen would not
Yeah.
eat.
Next one we got, guys, is deep fried bratwurst. And I don't think I need to explain that.
So hideous.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the picture itself that turns me off.
Right?
First of all, they decided if they put Grey Poupon on it, that would somehow make you want to taste it.
I'm like it's just squirted on haphazardly.
God.
Like, they didn't do, like, a pretty swirl like they do in commercials. It's
And,
just like...
Here's the thing. So brats, I have to be in the mood for, and they
Mhm.
already have that weird, like, popping noise kind of
Yeah.
texture when you bite into them, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this, I feel like it's deep fried. I feel like all it would be is like oozy grease and then a pop. I mean, I just like the thought of biting into that is just not what I just don't.
And
like.
as you know, my teeth don't meet, so
Yeah, so this would not be.
I would never get through that.
Bad news bears for you.
There would just be sauerkraut everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I like brats. I like sauerkraut, but this deep frying, this doesn't work for me.
I'm not in the deep fried bandwagon personally.
I do like deep fried.
I just want like a regular Snickers. Like I don't need it.
No.
I don't need you to deep fry it. I just want a regular Oreo.
Yeah, sure.
I want to spread butter on stuff. I don't want deep fried butter. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, would not eat across the board in the fan cave.
Twinkie casserole.
This is another one that, like, the picture, it's like, it looks like the outside of a tamale, but, like, that's it, and then it has cream in it. No, hard pass.
No, yeah. And what's on top of this? There's like some kind of frosting or something.
Yeah, I'm like, and unfortunately it doesn't tell us what it is, but it's the fact that I can't identify it.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be maple, but it's like bubbly and weird. I just nay.
Nope.
So that's a no. So far, nothing Kristen would try. Let's see. Turbacon duckin'.
Okay.
Layers of bacon upon layers of duck upon layers of chicken. I would eat it.
I actually would eat that because I mean, duck just tastes like chicken. So it's basically like putting bacon on chicken on chicken. Yeah. You know?
I mean, duck's a little greasier than...
True, but I think the bacon will hide that, you know?
Right? Yeah, no, This I would definitely try.
This is a Ron Swanson kind of deal. Remember when it's like he's at some kind of thing and it's bacon wrapped shrimp. He's like, it's my second favorite food wrapped around my third favorite food, you know? And so I don't know. You can wrap bacon on any number of things, and there's a possibility I will. I mean, I'm not going to make a blanket statement, but
I won't eat bacon wrapped around like a bug
or a donut, but.
Well, that's the thing, though. Those bacon maple donuts.
Other meat.
Yeah, wrap it around.
Yeah, and those are. But I don't see that as being weird. I see that more as just like that's like so normal now. Yeah, I guess
that's fair. So yeah, we found one that gets 2 will eats from the fan cave.
This one gets a 0 will eats. This is the IHOP Who Cake.
I like that you declared that one for me. You were like, I know. Corey says no.
Because here's the thing about this one. First of all, it legit looks like something Buddy the Elf would eat
or throw up.
Or throw up, or poop out.
Yeah.
Let's be real. This is something a unicorn crapped onto a plate. Buddy the Elf ate it and then threw it up again.
Did we say what it is?
No, I just said it's the IHOP Who Cake. So they developed IHOP. Dude, I worry about them because they come up with some disgusting stuff. They came up with it when Horton Hears a Who film campaign. It's a sugary blue pink frosted pancake mountain topped with sprinkles and a lollipop. And
the lollipop is just like stuck in the middle of the pancakes.
It's like a candle at the top.
Yeah.
I'm X-naying it 100. It just looks so
Can you imagine, too, taking your kid to IHOP and then looking at the menu and seeing that and being like, Mommy! And you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, I'm like, we're leaving.
Yeah.
If you're going to throw a fit about this, we're leaving.
Definite 2 will not eat from the fan cave.
Oh, gosh, and this next one is weird, too. It's an ice cream sundae on a hot dog bun. So it's an ice cream sundae in a hot dog bun, but they put sweetened condensed milk on it and, like, peanuts and...
Yeah, everything looks good except the hot dog bun.
Why'd they put... I mean, they should have put it... If they'd put it, like, in a French toast bun or a... Yeah. But, like, why a normal hot dog bun? There's not even anything...
There's nothing special about it. It's like the kind you buy in the supermarket, the real cheap ones that there's not enough for your hot dog pack.
It's like legit somebody ran out of, like, those
cones,
bowls. Yeah. Like the long bowls that you put banana cream... Or, that you put sundaes in. Yeah. And they're like, I got some hot dog buns.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Like,
yeah, this is definitely like a drunk or stoned creation.
totally.
Right here.
Oh, totally.
I'm having trouble on whether or not I would eat it, like whether I would take a bite of it, because I know it's gonna be gross because I don't really like hot dog buns in the first place. But I mean, it's not so gross that I'm like, I could not.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Depends. All right, the next one is a deep fried latke
Latka
sandwich.
I'm gonna go right ahead and say,
okay,
yes.
So this is a large portion of brisket tucked between 2 fried potato pancakes.
Mm-hmm. Latkes are like amongst my favorite foods. So
here's my thing on this one. I guess I don't understand. Why wouldn't you just serve that on a plate together?
Like
I don't know why. Like a sandwich. I'm not going to bite into that. When I get this, I'm taking it apart and then eating it.
Well,
so
I mean, because that doesn't put you on a cool list anywhere, and then people don't visit your restaurant.
I guess that's true. I would eat this because it just seems like a normal meal. Like maybe their plates were small, so like, let's make it into a sandwich.
Come on there.
Let's just condense it all into one thing. But I'd eat this. I like potato pancakes, and I like brisket. So
yeah, these are great things. This actually, when I saw this earlier, I was like, oh my god, I'm totally gonna make latkes for dinner, and then like all my potatoes have like eyes on them.
Oh,
so I was like,
boo!
No, really sad day for me.
I know.
And then sweet pea potato pie. This is a great way to use your Easter leftovers in a Thanksgiving side dish. Sweet potato pie topped with marshmallow peeps and Twinkies.
I'm sorry, I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Just serve sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Normal.
Everybody likes sweet potatoes with like just some, regular marshmallows.
Hey, make French fries.
Sure.
Pretty much anything but this, because Peeps are of the devil. They explode, and they're terrible. Mm-hmm. Peeps are the worst. I will never understand why people love them so much.
It's the same thing. Was it last week? I'm trying to think of when we were talking
about
this,
Cadbury eggs.
Cadbury eggs, yeah. It's like where you think like, oh, I'm gonna love this, and then you eat it, and you're like, oh no.
Well, here's the thing about that one that creeps me out. I'm like, it's either gonna be a regular egg or it's candy. I don't want my candy to look like an egg. Like, I don't want to crack that dish open and be like, yeah, make it an omelet.
Yeah,
with
look at the little embryo in there. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's fair.
Peeps are also, I mean, I guess I'm just not into the Easter
chicken-based dessert things.
The only thing I like about Easter is like when they make like Reese's cups into the shape of eggs because they're a little bit bigger, and for some reason they're great. And Snickers
there's a lot of peanut butters. Peanut butters?
Yeah, there's
all the peanut butters are in that cup. Yeah.
So, anyway, this were definitely X-naying, so.
Yeah, so that's, we had one that was a solid.
2.
No, 2, yeah.
We would do the turbacon duckin.
And the turbacon duckin.
And so. But both of those, if you think about it, are like very normal-ish type things.
Yeah.
Maybe not turbacon duckin, but.
Yeah, but ish. So, let us know if you would eat any of those. Let us know your feelings on X-Men casting. Follow Kristen on the Twitter, at Kristen_Lat, at your own peril. And make sure you join us this Friday for our book club, the Fancave Fiction Club. We'll link to it on the blog as always. We'll be meeting up in Google Plus to discuss the amazing adventures of Cavalier and Clay. It should be a grand old time, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. Have I covered everything there, Kristen?
Yes, looks like we're Dunskies.
Yay! All right, then, for this week, episode 49. Next week is the big 5-0, and it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Oh, and we were reminded that by Duncan that last week was actually 1 year of the Fancave.
Hey.
So, hey! But next week, episode 50, make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great time. So, for episode 49, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristen Lutterell.
Peace out, everybody.
Be kind.
We're going to heat it up for you in episode 49 with a whole lot of movie news. No!
No!
No! No! That's not what I meant at all.